Deb, are you ready? I'll call this meeting to order with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is Mr. Gerard here? Oh, Mr. Gerard? Mr. Orr, would you like to lead us in a prayer?
I can do that.
Thank you.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, you've told us in the book that we should pray for those in authority. It's because you have put them in that place, Lord. And we ask for your aid in that. We ask that you give these people your wisdom, your discernment that only comes from you, Lord, and that they make the right decisions for the people of Libby. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thanks, sir. Roll call, please.
Mayor Taylor,
Here.
Councilor Bolin,
Here.
Councilor Berger,
Here.
Councilor Crumpton, Councilor Culp,
Here.
Councilor Schaefer,
Here.
Councilor Zimmerman. Roll call is complete, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. We've got a couple little short announcements. We've got our boil order lifted. We're now onto a health advisory. Basically, that means that immune-compromised people, the dialysis clinic or dialysis center and the hospital should still take care. Other than that, our restaurants are back up and open, using ice and soda drinks and stuff like that, so that's good news. And after that, we'll move on to approving the minutes from council meeting 1691. Has everyone had a chance to review those council minutes?
Make a motion to approve regular meeting minutes 1691.
Second.
Perfect. Do we have any council discussion on minutes 1691? Any amendments or changes we want to make at council meeting 1691? Okay, I'll move it for public comment on minutes 1691. Do we have any public comments on 1691? Mr. Orr.
Honorable Mayor and Council, I'm D.C. Orr. I reside at 1117 Nevada Avenue. Welcome to an effort at transparency and accountability. So I challenged the minutes of the December 15th meeting because they did not include the substance of my comments on the appointment to replace Hugh Taylor on council. That is a violation of MCA 2-3-212 minutes of meetings. That is an open meeting law. What I challenged was a comment that said that when they were doing the interviews, one of the interviewers said that this body, the City Council, abides by open meeting laws. And yet, right there, we already have a violation of an open meeting law in the minutes. I've written a minority report for the government study group, which I gave to council a year ago, highlighting how the distracted driving ordinance moved ahead in violation of open meeting laws.
Are these on our minutes?
No, they are not. Mr. Orr, back to the minutes. Your minority report doesn't have anything to do with these minutes.
1591?
1691?
1691.
Your minority report is not listed in these minutes.
Was that this, December 16th?
15th, correct.
15th, yeah.
I don't see your minority report listed anywhere in here or in the transcript from that meeting. You didn't mention your minority report anywhere in that meeting.
I didn't mention the minority report. What I'm getting at is the heart of the matter is that we were told publicly that this body adheres to open meeting laws.
And we do.
And that was in the minute. That was left out of the minutes because I stood up to protest those minutes and say, there were two statements. One that the councilwoman was hostile to the candidate, and that did get in the minutes. And then the other one was that the councilwoman lied about the city council abiding by open meeting laws. And I said in the meeting she was openly hostile and she lied. So we're talking about the lie. And the lie is that this body adheres to open meeting laws. This body does not adhere to open meeting laws. And so I just wanted that in the minutes. It's 2 words to add to the minutes. It's already been accepted that she was openly hostile to the candidate. All you have to do is add, and she lied. So it corrects the minutes.
Mr. Mayor, that's 3 minutes. I did hit pause while he was interrupted while you were speaking.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Orr.
Yep. So all I'm asking is that when you correct these, or when you approve these minutes, you approve them with a correction that goes to the substance of the matters we discussed,
Thank you.
as required by open meeting laws.
Any other public comment on these minutes? 1691. No other public comments? No comments online? I'll bring it back to the council. Does the council have any further discussion or comments? If there's no other comments, discussion, I'll bring it to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. The minutes are approved as read, 1691. So now we have the approval of minutes 1692 from January 5th, 2026. Has everyone had a chance to read these minutes?
I make a motion that we approve minutes from meeting 1696.
Second.
Is there any council discussion, changes?
1692, I'm sorry.
16, there you go.
1692.
Any council discussion or changes to these minutes? No council discussion? I'll bring it to the public for public comment. Any public comment on minutes 1692? Mr. Orr.
That is some confusion in the minutes. It says council consensus was to postpone the approval of meeting 1692 minutes. But it was actually 1691 which was being protested. So,
You are absolutely correct. We will make that correction.
yeah. Then I would also mention that had to do with correcting the minutes about the lie that was told to the people of Libby. Thank you.
Any other public comments on the minutes for 1692? No other public comments? I don't see any online, so I'll bring it back to council. Council have any other discussion? I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Minutes approved for the council meeting 1692. Let's see here. City Administrator, do you have a short report for us, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Council. I've already talked to the council previous to the meeting. What happens is at the first meeting of each month, all the department heads come give the council report. The second meeting, I'm still on here to give the building report. However, at this occasion, there hasn't been any new permits sold through November or December. We have a couple standing by, but there hasn't been any. So there will be no building report. But this also allows me just to give kind of a reminder of what's been going on with the lower reservoir right now at this point. I've been sending out the updates to the council, to members of the press, different members from the different government agencies, keeping everybody aware of what's happening. So we finished dewatering, which is going to be a constant basis. We got it down low enough to dry the sedimentation enough to where we can haul it away now. So what happens is it started actually yesterday around 1 p.m. they started hauling it out. They started yesterday because originally we had planned for the governor to come in. He was going to try to do a quick visit. He did get hung up in Missoula, but he wants everybody to know that he was considering the city, and he's still got us, in his mind, and he's going to try to do a visit as soon as he can. So we started getting that dewatering with Noble's crew and everything. It's continuing out through today. The sediment's actually going to the city open cut mine, because we're going to keep that for reclamation for our open cut mines someday when it does go out of service, because we'll use it up by then. That'll help save the environment, because we don't have to strip any other foliage or any other soil off or anything else to reclaim it. So it's just a smart use of assets that have come into our possession, and we had to haul it off anyways. We're figuring it's probably going to take 6 or 7 days maybe to get all that sediment out of there. So we had meetings with the engineer today, and we're finding out the stability of the base underneath the sediment itself. This is kind of new for the operators, and what they found out today was that it's some type of hard pack, like it was an old glacial till that was really packed down and sealed, because they're just laying the loader on it now, and it actually is not digging into it at all. So we're able just to scoop up that sediment. We just have to make sure it's dewatered, because you know how you try to pick up mud out of a mud puddle, it just goes all over. We're also watching the roads to make sure that there's no buildup of debris or dust or anything on the roads that could cause damage. So our street supervisor's making sure that's looking good. Also at this time, we're going over the main cofferdam drawings and plans, and we've learned a lot by doing that temporary cofferdam by having to add that polypro, that plastic pond liner to it, and how the seepage is going to end up working around there. So today we were troubleshooting the plan, like how are we going to anchor to the eastern wall where we won't have seepage that can undermine that. We're talking about maybe having to put plastic on both sides. And yes, I have confirmed that there's no PFAS involved with any of the plastics involved, because we don't want to introduce the lifelong chemicals into our water system for our drinking water. And then we're talking about the spillway. What happens if it goes over that? If that's not sealed properly, could it do the same thing that happened to the northern retaining wall, where it actually overtopped and was undermined a bit? So we're still working out problems with this, and we'll be involving the DNR dam safety folks, but we got about 4 engineers working on it right now out of Helena to help us out with that. So next steps, after we dewater it, we're going to go ahead and start building that main cofferdam with geofabrics, laying it down to try to help seal that out. And it's going to ended up being about 7-8 foot of headwater behind it, but we have to design it enough to hold back the spring fall, so it just goes over the spillway. We're going to have a lot more riprap or heavier rock on that to make sure it's all protected. So after that, it'll probably take 3 to 4 weeks to move the over 9,000 tons of rock that's going to be required to do that, to get that prepped for the spring runoff. And the reason it's so important to build that up is once we get that main cofferdam, we'll be able to utilize the system using the head pressure as it was designed. Now that we're bypassing and we're going and using a sedimentation basin, everything's just nice and leveled out. Kind of funny that the boil order's lifted, and one of the things that we had put in place was that we wanted redundant systems. And Friday night, the bypass pipe caught a gasp of air, stopped functioning. Within 20 minutes, we had the emergency backup pump, one of the 2 pumps that are sitting there for that, up and running. The plant didn't even have a hiccup. So everything is working as designed, to include the redundant systems. In case anybody was wondering, we do have all our 318 permits, which is like a 310 on steroids for emergency. We have turbidity permits, as long as we're doing the best we can. That's why we lined everything, so we're not putting any sediments into the creek that could go downstream into the river and then down from there. So we're getting everything covered. So hopefully within 4 or 5 weeks, we'll have the cofferdam done. Then we'll start the engineering on the replacement or repair of the northern wing wall itself. And then, since that will not be in the emergency phase, that will be going out for a bid through design, through DNRC, through all the normal channels. And I'm hoping by the end of August or September, we'll have our northern retaining wall back in, up to snuff, and then we've got to remove that over 9,000 tons of rock at that time and take it out of the area. and then we'll kind of restore back to what it was before the storm. And now we're in process of actually figuring out, because above it there's a weir wall, which means that basically it's a concrete wall up there before our bypass pipe. And the system was designed to where we can drive up there every year, clean out all the bed load that's coming down into that area so that we don't get into the problems. So we're going to be working with the Fish, Wildlife, and Park through the DES, the other federal agencies to go, okay, we shouldn't need a stream permit because nothing natural and it's part of our system. So it's just an annual thing. We just go up and clean it out every spring. We pull out the bed load, the rock and gravel we hauled out, and it's just the system. So is there any questions of what's going on right now from the mayor and council? That's my report, mayor and council.
Thank you. Ms. Berger, you had a light street sidewalk report?
I do. We had a meeting planned for later this month. That's been moved to February. One of our core members is out. At our last meeting of streets, we spoke about the sidewalk program, about taking another look at that. We're holding that over. We're researching some additional information. Also, the removal of the stop sign at Idaho and 6th at Asa Wood. We were looking at that. That came from a community member. We're getting some more information on that. We have found out that there's a bus stop there. So that'll all go back to the committee, and hopefully after the next meeting we will make a decision.
Perfect, thank you. Did you have a report, Leanne?
That'll be later, yeah.
Gotcha. So as I discussed in the last council meeting, we were reforming all our committees. There is a new updated list of who sits on what committees. I'm encouraging that all the committees meet in the next week or so and at least have a short meeting to choose their chair, as committees should choose their own chair and move forward from that. Then we can get that appointed and go from there. There is your parking issue you were referring to on the lights, streets and sidewalks. I'd like to make sure it gets moved back to that committee. Also the VFW parking permit, I'd like that moved back to that committee. There is a zoning commission meeting on 1/26 at 6 p.m. here at City Hall. Ms. Smith provided us with a health board report from the meeting on 1/13. It was a very brief meeting. One member, Patty, I'm going to butcher this last name and I apologize, Kinchalio, was reappointed to another 3-year term, and all the other officers were kept in their roles. The health department provided 2025 year-end reports on all the programs, as well as on the flood wind disaster response. The health department, as you know, maintained a critical role during the recent disaster, working closely with emergency management and acting as a PIO, technical support, and more. What used to be known as the 0 to 5 is now known as Lincoln County Kids. Due to the change in funding, Public Health has seen a dramatic drop in childhood vaccinations and reviewed the new guidance from the CDC for the board. They also have a new higher performing health inspections, restaurants, RV parks, etc. Environmental Health saw an increase in septic permits in the county, mostly the Eureka area, and provided statistics on the animal shelter that they took over in the spring last year. The new cell at the landfill is complete and ready to use. Lastly, the department hired a behavioral health manager / crisis coalition coordinator to resurrect the crisis team that works with law enforcement situations that require a different level of expertise and assistance. And that is her report from the health board. I don't believe we have any other outstanding committee reports. Public comment from non-agenda items. This is an opportunity for the public to offer comments related to the issues that are not currently on the agenda that the council has jurisdiction over. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes. Any public comment? Mr. Backen.
Hello, Vince Backen, 427 Thomas Street. I gave a copy of this, what I'm going to address here to the mayor, and I'd like it to be in the public record, so it's verbatim what I say. Just take a minute to do. So, distinguished members of the council, I stand before you with one clear proposal: democracy. I want you to strengthen the executive control and authority by a resolution to pay the mayor a competitive salary of $80,000 annually. The mayor is our voice, the voters' voice. Right now, the mayor sits practically unpaid, part-time. That's no longer acceptable. If we dare look to the future, start with a full-time, dedicated, paid mayor who can do the full-time work of the chief executive, we deserve nothing less. Let the mayor serve as our full-time chief executive, manage budgets, direct staffing, shape policy, secure grants. Pay the mayor a full-time salary for full-time, dedicated performance. A dedicated leader chasing federal and state dollars means millions more for roads, schools, and safety. When you, the city council, does this by resolution, accountability improves overnight. Whoever we elect answers to us, not to a contract. Accountability starts with people choosing their leader, not a hired hand. The city administrator, though capable, is still an employee. The city administrator is an operations manager, not an executive. The voters cannot unelect a city administrator. But if the administrator is respected, the voters could elect the administrator to the position of mayor. Think about that. Transparency sharpens too. One public face, clear lines of duty. Why is it that in our peer communities, mayors that serve full-time with a competitive salary, already they save 20% on procurement, they streamline administration, and deliver results? Because elected mayors must be transparent and accountable to the elected by the citizens. A city manager or a city administrator are neither accountable or transparent because they are not elected. A competitive salary of $80,000 will ensure that the mayor will leave all the other obligations behind and serve the city of Libby wholly. A full-time paid mayor ensures focus, retention, competence. Without it, we risk burnout, turnover, distracted governance, lack of transparency, and lack of accountability.
Thank you,
Paying
Mr.
a mayor
Bracken.
makes sense.
Mr. Bracken, your 3 minutes are up.
2 more sentences, if you don't mind.
That's up to the council.
2 more
You want him
sentences.
to continue?
No, thank you.
2 sentences?
Yeah, 2 sentences.
Let him finish.
Thank you. Pay makes sense. On a side note, it will eliminate constant citizen backlash and interim chaos. Please put this on the agenda. Vote to empower. Vote to fund the mayor. This is our town. We deserve nothing less. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, sir. Any other public comments? Mr. Orr.
This may be our honeymoon, but I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing here. Allowing Mr. Bracken to finish up with 2 sentences is just reasonable. And that's something that has been missing for a long time. Having Sam stop my time is another thing that when I get up and someone makes a point of order that is non-parliamentary especially, parliamentary point of order should specify which point of parliamentary procedure the protester thinks is being violated. And that has been a tactic that has been used to destroy the citizens' right to participate in local government for far too long. I would stand up here, I'd get 2 sentences in, someone would say point of order, and they'd all sit and hem and haw, and then my time would be up. That just is really unfair and unethical and dishonest. So seeing some of this change is very encouraging. I hope this continues, and I thank you guys. Sam, I thank you for stopping my time and reserving it for me. And keep it up. I like what I'm seeing.
Thank you, Mr. Orr. Any other public comment? Yes, sir. Mr. Jameson.
Jonathan Jameson. I live at 1414 Utah Avenue, and I agree with DC Orr that I did like to hear the extra 2 lines there that showed compassion, but I think we also got to look at what our rules are here, and we got 3 minutes, and you got 3 minutes to state. I want to, if I have the ability to further comment on the pay raise for the mayor, I don't like that at all. I think that's a position that's supposed to be for serving for the people, and if we allow money into that, it can be used for corruption. So I actually like the low pay, and I think you guys should really consider that. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Any other public comment? Any other public comment? No comments online. So we'll move on from that to new business. The Kootenai Heritage Council request for community development funds introduction. Yes, sir.
Thank you. My name is Gary Huntsberger. I represent the Kootenai Heritage Council, which is the big building down the block here. 2 or 3 months ago, it seems like forever, I came and requested money for the boiler. You should have a copy of that. We put 19,000 plus into that boiler. The statement made by the guys putting that in was that we're the boiler guys, we're not the electrical guys. And I said, what do you keep saying that for? Aren't you going to fix it? And so they did. It worked for a little bit of a little while, and then everything started going to pot. The day after I left here, and that motor went out the next day. That was a circulating motor that had to be replaced immediately. To give you a little bit of a theory, this wasn't a rush job. In 2009, the boiler quit. In 2009, it became a manual operating boiler. In other words, when it gets cold out, you turn it on manually and you turn it off manually. That's been going on until 2025, this year. The council approved my request from an organization called McKinstry. McKinstry gave us these boiler guys and made it go. Until probably about a week or 2 ago, we've been screwing with it ever since. Boilers aren't just on and off. They're very sophisticated. And that whole system, we probably put in $50,000 last year that didn't have anything to do with the boiler. It was just the circulating systems. I think you guys know this building and you understand that everything isn't just on and off anymore. So we finally got it running as within the last couple of weeks, and that's been at least a couple of months ago. Obviously, there were cost overruns. A little bit update. Brian Zimmerman suggested that we add to that original request. I specifically didn't really care for that. The council itself that was present, they didn't approve it. And I said, well, let's wait till we're all done. You know it's not going to be fixed. And so up until this time, I think we had 6 different individuals for 6 different companies here that came up and fixed certain things until this guy in Kalispell came and he's got it monitored. Jim's over in Europe now. He can turn the heat on in Europe just by his phone. So everything's working like it's supposed to be working. I think we're going to save a lot on fuel. The reason I came here tonight was that I didn't realize all you guys are new, and so not totally new, but you didn't know the background of the center. And I wanted to give you that educational piece, which I wrote one myself. There's the other one that was just based on the facts of where we've been. We had like 50 events last year. We're busier, and busier all the time. Lately we just had the Red Cross there, and we are the designated community center, and so whether we're there or not, someone has to be able to get in there and you have to turn the heat on. 2 weeks ago we had the Hospital Foundation. Band and Choir was right after that. We had the funeral for John Hyslop yesterday and went by there. We had 200 to 300 people there. And this week we have the chamber banquet, so it's an ongoing thing. We're 100% volunteer. Nobody gets paid but the cleaning lady. I came here tonight to just give you a little education on the background, and please request anything from me about the feasibility of where we're at. We do have overruns that I'm going to return next month, and I will go through the process of the city. That's the only time we've ever actually used the city fund. And I felt that, boy, if this isn't a time for it, when we requested that money here just recently, and you 100% approved it. Of course, like I say, it's never done, but it is now. And we probably put, the system is not just the boiler, the system is multiple types of expansion tanks contracting. That was probably $75,000 that we did independently. Christian brought up the fact that if you applied other, I think we got a grant from everybody in the state of Montana, plus some federal grants last year. We always hit up the railroad. Fellow just informed me yesterday, they're not taking applications. If you're located on the railroad tracks, you're eligible for railroad grants. And so we've had people, and we've got them almost every year until this year. He said they're worried about a merger, maybe Buffett retiring, that they wouldn't even accept an application this year. So the only thing we've ever gone after these funding from the city is that boiler and the system that heats the boiler, that runs the boiler. So far, so good. It's working fine. We did have cost overruns, which I knew we would. But the bottom line is, I'm not going to come back until next month, and we'll have that formal request. We should have all the bills in. And any questions, any decisions, anything that anybody has a question on, feel free to call. And I couldn't explain it to you because it's way beyond technicality for myself. But I wanted to come tonight, Hugh's new at the job. And Peggy was a member of the Heritage Council. Christian, I thought, was still here. She was the last president prior to my taking over about 10 years ago. But the bottom line is that, so I felt you needed an education, at least from where I'm coming from, where we're coming from, and the community use of that facility. And it's beyond comprehension. Like I say, it was at least 50 times we ran it. We're all voluntary. Nobody gets paid 100%. Any questions? I shall return. Thank you very much. And anything at all, feel free to give me a holler about the facility. But it's 100% run by volunteers, period. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Second item on the agenda is to approve second reading of ordinance 2066 to approve amending the Libby zoning map to pre-zone the property known as Timberlands Business Park. Please bear with me because this is long and lazy and a lot of numbers. Ordinance number 2066, an ordinance of the City of Libby, Montana, amended that the Libby zoning map to pre-zone the property to be known as Timberlands Business Park subdivision lots 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, 15, and 16 to Highway Commercial District, and lots 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to industrial districts. Whereas Noble Investment Properties LLC, the owner of the following described property, has requested the City of Libby pass an ordinance pursuant to Libby zoning codes for a pre-zoning designation of property to be known as Timberlands Business Park subdivision lots 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, and 15, and 16 to Highway Commercial Districts, and lots 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to industrial districts, and is legally described as parcel HCOS 4993, located in the southeast quarter of Section 10, Township 30, North, Range 31, West, PMM, Lincoln County, Montana. And whereas the City of Libby adopts the zoning ordinance in 1962, with the most recent update effective July 20th, 2020, and whereas the zoning map amended has been properly submitted, reviewed, and noticed in accordance with the procedure set forth in zoning code for the City of Libby, Montana, entitled 76-2-301 MCA, and whereas the Zoning Commission has held a public hearing on November 24th, 2025 to receive and review all written and oral testimony on the zoning map amendment, and whereas the Zoning Commission found that the proposed zoning map amended is consistent with the intent and purpose of the zoning code, the TED zoning, and the growth policy, and whereas the Zoning Commission has reviewed and considered the 9 zone change criteria established in section 76-2-304 MCA and found that the zoning map amendment to be compliant with the 9 criteria. And whereas the zoning commission has recommended to the city council to approve the zoning map amended, and whereas the city council held a public hearing on December 15th, 2025 to receive and review all written and oral testimony on the zoning map amendment, and whereas the city council found that the proposed zoning map amended is consistent with the intent and purpose of the zoning code and the TED zoning, and whereas the city council has reviewed and considered the 9 zone change criteria established in section 76-2-304 MCA and found that the zoning map amendment to be in compliance with the 9 criteria, and whereas the city council found the zoning map amendment would be in compliance with the growth policy and would be in the public's interest. Now therefore be it ordained by the city council of the Libby, Montana, that section 1, that the above described property is hereby granted a pre-zoning designation on property to be known as Timberland Business Park subdivision lots 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, 15, and 16 to highway commercial, and lots 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to industrial district, and is legally described as parcel HCOS 4993, located in the southeast quarter of section 10, township 30 north, range 30 west, PMM, Lincoln County, Montana. Second section, the effective date is 30 days after final adoption of the ordinance on second reading. The ordinance shall be in full force and effect on February 17, 2025. Introducing and passing by the City Council of Libby, Montana is the first reading at the regular convened meeting therefore held on the 15th day of December 2025. I would entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2066.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2066, an ordinance in the city. Do I need to read the whole thing again?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Is there any council discussion?
Ordinance shall be in full force and effect on February 17th, 2025. Should that read 2026?
2026, you are correct.
There should also be the word "and" in between 11 and 12 on the front page. And the second page, there's extra space there. It's just a small typo.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then Peggy Williams at the bottom should be changed over to Mayor Taylor.
You are correct.
Oh, it is.
Any other council comments? Any public comment? Any public comment on ordinance number 2066? We have no public comment, no public comment online. I would call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance 2066 is approved. And I did all that without missing anything.
That was a long one.
So, the next item on the agenda is reinstate the Libby Shade Tree Community Tree Board. As we discussed in the last council meeting, there is a city ordinance that covers the formation of a tree board. It has kind of lapsed. We'd like to bring that forward again and put out applications for members. So it's just a vote of the council if we'd like to reinstate that. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we reinstate the Libby Shade Tree Committee, also known as the Tree Board.
Second.
Any council discussion?
Go trees.
Any public comment on reforming the Libby Shade Tree Community Tree Board?
I probably spent 15 years on the tree board, if not longer. It was a very functional group. We had a lot of things get done through that committee. I was glad to see Jennifer here, and she was a part of that before. But it's very important because we are a Tree City USA. that we adopt that ordinance and try to reform that committee, and that's what, hopefully I'll participate in that also. So, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Jennifer Nelson, 1026 Washington. So I just, I'm not going to reiterate what Gary just said, but we have got a lot of work to do. We have got some plans for a pruning workshop, and also we have a lot of pruning to do on the existing trees. So I really appreciate the council reinstating the tree board, and yep, applications are online. So if people are interested, they can go to that site, to the city site, and fill out an application.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Any other public comment? Yes, sir.
Vince back in 427 Thomas Street. During the wind event we had, afterwards I went and volunteered a lot of my time, days of my time, and my equipment. I didn't get paid for it, all volunteer, to clean up the mess that was caused by that wind event. And so I totally support this tree board. Clean these trees up. Totally support it because it makes the city safer and cleaner, and it also makes the property value go up. So I'm in support of it. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Any other public comment? Mr. Orr.
I also support the formation of the tree board. 1996, when we had the big wind, decimated this town, and the tree board was very instrumental in getting new trees started again. Funding is always an issue, and I would urge council to request like regular reports of where the funding is at. One thing that did come up with one of the tree boards is one of the spouses of someone on the tree board was being paid for some duties with the tree board, and they are largely volunteer. That was deemed inappropriate, and it ended. Keep an eye out for that. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Any other public comment? Any other public comment? No comment online, so I will entertain a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We'll reinstate the Libby Shade Tree Community Tree Board. The next item on the agenda is an informational thing. We have put together a job description for a deputy city administrator. It's a new city position. Under the city charter, it would be a second assistant to the mayor. This has already been budgeted for the last 2 years, so it's already in our budget. It will not affect the bottom line. So we're looking for someone with some engineering, some streets experience. Anything else you'd like to add to that, Mr. Sykes?
Computers and being able to identify rules and regulations.
As we all know, Mr. Sykes is doing about 100 times more jobs than Mr. Hammond's used to do. And we have a lot of projects sitting on the back burner, so that's why this has been funded for the last 2 years, and we're looking to move that forward. We're just bringing this forward so the means of transparency and public trust in what we're doing, and just to inform the council. Does the council have any questions? Any public comment? No public comment online. Perfect. We'll move on to the next agenda item. We have our 6-month budget review. And I will let Miss Leanne lead us through that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. I had the opportunity this last week and actually earlier today to get together with all the department heads so we could go over their budgets. And right now, this time of year, we're right about halfway mark. And so everything should be right around 50%. And so after getting together with them, everything is actually right on track for where we should be at this time of year. There were just a few things that I want to note. I will just start with the revenue portion of it. For the property taxes, we always get our large check for the first half of the year in December. So actually it doesn't reflect on this one yet. For the real estate property tax, it's actually $271,780, because that check didn't get deposited until the very beginning of January. We're still doing good for the street permit, opening permits. That's just something that actually more and more has become identified from the past, and the street supervisor has been really good about making sure these guys are getting in here, getting their permits, getting the streets closed, because in the past, actually, it wasn't getting done and the city was having to do it. So Justin's been really good about being able to keep up on those for us. And for when you're looking at, because I know we have a few new people on the council here, when you're looking at numbers, like over here where your percentages are on the side, anytime, and that you'll notice it more when I get over to the expenditure type, but next to that where it says to be received, or on the other where it says available appropriation, if that is a negative number, it's actually a positive. So if you ever see a negative, it's actually positive. Sorry, I just had to throw that one in there. Still on the revenue side, one of the higher ones is actually the camping facility. That is above because we've actually already done the majority of our revenue for that during the first or the later part of the summer. We will be opening that up, I believe, in May. Beginning of May is when the camp host will go in, and we do that right before Memorial Weekend. Another one that was kind of an unexpected one, when we go to budget some of these numbers, I kind of have to I look back at the last 5 years, so I can kind of get an average of what we're going to see. Like for the sale of the junk and salvage, that was actually that small auction that we had. No idea what we were going to receive for that, so that was a little bit higher than we'd expected. There was about $3,300 there. Trying to see here, and if you flip over to page 2, the special grants, that will be one of the funds. You see that kind of really out of whack over here on the side. That is actually mostly our lore grants and special grants that we hadn't planned on going into the year. So, and that will be one of these funds. At the end of the year, we will have all the numbers in order. We will have to do a budget amendment. It is very common. It's just so that it'll show the revenue versus the expenses. So it makes it'll show it budgeted that way. And let's see. As far as the other part, I'm trying to see what else I have highlighted here. Plant investment fees. I'm going to switch over to page 4. And this is for water, and it'll also be the same for sewer. This is a number that we kind of only could go by an estimate, and with a lot of the bigger construction going on in town, this number was a lot higher than we had even planned on it being this year. So that was the revenue portion of it. Is there any questions on the revenue? And for the expenditure side, and this is where a lot of it we'll see the 50% right now, going halfway through the year. The only part after speaking with all the guys and the department heads that when we got together, the big thing that was actually over is going to be for wages, and that actually had to do with our flooding event, and all that will actually be moved over. I'll get all that information, all those funds and stuff will actually be moved over to that fund that I started for the emergency fund. Let's see, what number is that one? Because I haven't moved anything over there yet, so it might not even reflect on here. Yeah, it's not on here yet, but it will be for the next one, the next update, because I still have to move all those over. So that'll be the big thing. The only thing I noticed that running around 55% on the majority of them was their wages, and that was for that. With the streets department, there was one item that I did identify. It was their dump truck that they got because they had to have that shipped over. So their shipping, it was inside their budget. Their shipping was a little big. Under miscellaneous, if you go down the first page there, under general, that actually, because that one's a higher number, that is actually insurance that we pay a full year on. So that number is always going to be higher because we pay that at the beginning of the fiscal year. And on page 2, it would also be the kind of a reflect on the special grants fund. And that's where, as those expenditures come in, and these will be for like all the lore grants and stuff that we've got. So these will reflect each other at the end of the year, because I'll have all the, by then all the special grants will come in. I'll be able to show you those. And on the next page, the Barca, there was one area there for the street service, and this is for the SB, or well, let me put it, the Fund 2821. There was an adjustment from a carryover from last year that the auditors had me make, so that is why that first number is askew. And then this is also the same fund that was the SLIPA fund, which had to do with Spruce Street back here. And I believe all that money, I think that project's fully done as far as getting all the bills and stuff in there. So that's what that one was. And you turn over to the next page, page 4, and the American Recovery Plan Act, that is actually due to fall off. It wouldn't probably have even been on here this year, except for there was some adjustments right at the beginning of the year that had to be done because some of the money that had gotten paid out of this fund didn't qualify and had to go into a different fund. Yeah. I believe those are all of my notes that I had. It's looking really good. And all the departments are doing a wonderful job. So, and that is my review. Is there any questions?
Council, any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. So we move on to item number 6, approve all alcohol license applications received to date. We have Dorio's at 316 California Avenue, Heaven's Peak Organic Market at 316 California Avenue. They both can't be at the same address.
Copy paste.
So that can't be. So we'll straighten that out. So I'll entertain a motion to approve all of the alcohol licenses.
I make a motion to approve all alcohol licenses received to date.
Second.
Any council discussion? Any public comments? Any public comment? Yes, sir. Yes.
The 316 is Dorio's.
Yes. We'll fix it there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other public comment? No public comments online. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So that moves us on to approve all claims received to date. Did everyone get a chance to review the claims, other than the 2 individuals that aren't here? Any questions on the claims? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve all claims received to date.
Second.
Any other council comments? Any public comments on the claims? No public comments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve all business license applications received to date. Bobtail Enterprise LLC, Eagle Signs LLC, Oncology Spa Solutions, DBA Evergreen Skincare, Schnockenberg and Riddle Funeral Home. I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion we approve all business license applications received to date.
Second.
Any council discussion? Any public comment? No public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to unfinished business. We don't have any general comments from the council. Does the council have any general comments? Well, I'd like to thank Mr. Sykes and his diligence for staying on the state and getting our water turned back on. Without him staying after them, I don't believe we'd still be in a boil order if it wasn't for that. And I greatly appreciate all his time and effort, and I appreciate all the volunteers in the community that stepped up and did what they could for their neighbors and everybody else. And that's all I have. No other comments? I'd entertain a motion.
Make motion to adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out.
What if there's no motion to adjourn?
We'll stay here all night.